What's going on, YouTube? Drano's back at it again, bringing you another episode in the Madden Underground Pro League on the PS4 with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go ahead, jump right into the gameplay. From our past video, obviously we are kind of reeling. We are struggling a lot, over the last couple of games. I want to say at this point we've lost 3 to 4 straight games, which even for me, as far as, with Madden, I usually, from playing past CFMs, I can't remember the last time I've lost that many consecutive games. So it is kind of frustrating, but, looking back at these videos as I edit them, it's kind of a good opportunity just to see just the mistakes that I made. And also, again, I might have mentioned this in the previous video. Throughout season 1, I was really just trying to find myself both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So obviously, not the cleanest gameplay at times, but for the most part, we've been competitive throughout the whole entire CFM. Like, very rarely do we ever really get blown out, unless if it's against like a very, very good opponent. As you guys can see, my opponent, he is using the New York Jets. He is driving, but he actually does throw an interception on his first drive. And you guys are probably wondering, like, how, if you lose to the Jets, like, what are we doing here? But Madden, it's actually one of those games where, depending on the caliber of player, you can actually make up for the team. And I thought we got a tipped, and then somehow my opponent is able to get a tip drill interception there. Not sure how that happened. So basically, that turnover that we got kind of cancels itself out after we threw a turnover, forcing the ball downfield to try to get it to Metcalf. But yeah, my opponent, who's actually using the Jets at this time, was actually a very, very good player. I want to say at this point in the season, he had around 11 wins in his in the AFC. So obviously he's definitely not a slouch. And I want to say at one point he had an undefeated season for a while. I'm not exactly sure if he maybe won the division or won the wild card, but this is definitely not gonna be a walk in the park, to say the least. But as soon as we say that, we do get our first big play of the game, besides the turnover we had earlier. Quentin Dunbar actually able to go ahead and jump that route, and is able to go ahead and take it all the way back for 6. So good to see that. Good to see Dunbar playing well. Very next possession, my opponent again throws another pick. So back-to-back interceptions for Sam Darnold in the offense. Picked off this time by Trey Flowers. We try to take it back, but Trey Flowers doesn't really have the burners like that anymore. And as you guys can see, you're going to go ahead, try to get Chris Carson going. And as you guys will notice throughout the gameplay, is that this is definitely the Chris Carson show, as I'm going to say. So as he gets his first touchdown there, able to go ahead, give us a double-digit lead in the second quarter. But my opponent, he does strike back. He's able to go ahead, burn Dunbar, caught him cheating right there on like the little, I want to say it was like a post route to, was it Brashard Perriman, who was a Madden Ultimate Team legend, for those who don't know. Back in, I believe it was 17, he was Madden 16, he was one of the best wide receivers at drop. So always interesting to see, names like that pop up, especially in CFM, because they don't play nearly as good in CFM. But anyways, we're going to go ahead, get a big play to DK Metcalf, and then from there, we spell Chris Carson, able to go ahead and get the ball to Carlos Hyde, and he gives us back our double-digit lead. Shout out to Carlos Hyde, by the way, who definitely stepped up in a big-time game coming off of that Thursday night game against the Cardinals. I'm not going to lie, being a Seahawks fan in real life, I was definitely kind of worried coming off that losing streak, and Russ just playing uncharacteristically, but we went ahead, bounced back, and believe as of right now, because I'm recording this on Monday, and the Seahawks are leading the NFC West, and they're in second in the NFC. So far, so good. And we actually have a very, very favorable schedule down the stretch that includes these New York Jets, who in real life they are defeated. If you want to look at it that way, I think they're like 0-9 or 0-10 or something like that. So they're obviously tanking for Trevor Lawrence in this case. And again, like I said before, this is going to be really the Chris Carson show. We're just handing him the ball off, and anytime that you could get an interception or a turnover, generally speaking, and to get it deep into your opponent's territory, that's a recipe for success. So we're playing good on defense. Now we're up to a 3-possession game, and now here, I'm not sure what happened here. I again, like I said, still slowly but surely starting to find myself on defense. I sent looked like what was a cover 0 blitz, but I'm not exactly sure whose responsibility that was, because I believe that was Denzel Mims was wide open. He does the rest of the work, and he's able to take it easily for a touchdown. So not gonna get too stressed out about it. We do still have a 2-possession lead as we are driving downfield, able to go ahead and hit Tyler Lockett on the little crosser, just trying to spread the ball out amongst the offense, not try to get lean too heavy on one particular player, even though Chris Carson did pretty much ball out this game, as we tried to hit Lockett on the crosser, but that wasn't a heavy traffic. And so at this point, feeling good about my defense. As you guys can see right there, we do drop an interception. I hate to see that, but I under normal circumstances, I probably would have gone for that 4th down, but I felt pretty good about my defense to the point where, if I was able to pin my opponent down deep and just force him to really eat up a lot of clock on this possession, then we should be able to come away with the W. As again, he almost throws another interception to our guy Jamal Adams. 2nd and 10, he tries to force it, and Shaquille Griffin actually out there. I want to say at this point he was actually playing safety, just because I didn't want to get burned over the top by Perriman again, and he's able to go ahead and jump that route for another INT. So I want to say 3 interceptions by our defense. Definitely come a long way from that losing streak where we really struggled to get any sort of stops. So feeling really good here. We're actually 1st and goal from the 1. Again, Chris Carson puts his head down, able to go ahead and get into the end zone for another easy touchdown. I want to say that's his 3rd touchdown of the game. And really, at this point, that's going to, pretty much be the dagger in this game, as my opponent, he's really just at the point where he has to start forcing everything to really have any legitimate shot of trying to win this game. 1st and 10, tries to go deep to Chris Herndon, former Miami Hurricane alum there. But unfortunately, Bobby Wagner is able to go ahead and break that pass up. So again, really, I feel like at this point, my opponent is just trying to do anything and everything he can to try to get points on the board. But when you're tackled in bounds down 3 possessions, it's definitely not going to help. So 4th and 3, opponent goes for it, calls stretch, and he's actually able to go ahead, bust off a big run with Lamar Miller. Again, don't like to see, those breaks in our defense, to basically just part like the Red Sea like that. But really at this point, we are approaching the 2-minute warning. Again, just don't force any mistakes. I don't see how I don't see how I managed to see Carlos Hyde break out of the backfield like that. We're able to get a dot to him with Russ, and from here we're actually under the 2-minute warning now. So again, just don't force anything. Let's just try to go ahead, play clock management, bleed the clock out. I meant to hit either the tight end on the little corner route on the other side or the running back on the angle, but I guess I just clicked the wrong button there by mistake. It tends to happen, especially with these sausage link fingers. So don't like to see that, to give my opponent the ball back. But really, 17-point lead with 1:30 left. I don't really see this game really getting out of hand, as we're going to go ahead and force our opponent. He's already used up all his timeouts as well, so things are looking dire. And then Lano Hill goes ahead, wraps up the game, and going to go ahead, go out of bounds, and seal the deal for the Seattle Seahawks. We're able to go ahead, bounce back in this game. Now, just looking at the standings, I'm not exactly sure where we're at in terms of the division or in the conference. I don't think, we're going to be able to make it as far as division, because Sprint, who, like I mentioned previously, one of my crewmates at this point is undefeated, and I think he's already locked up the division. But, we still do have a chance with the wild card, especially considering the fact that, they did add that 7th wild card in the NFL this year. So, we're not out of it, but, we need to win as many games as we can, and then probably need to get a little bit of help to really make the playoffs. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, though, I'd appreciate you guys hitting that like button. And if you guys are looking forward to more episodes in the Seattle Seahawks CFM, consider subscribing to the channel. And until the next one, guys, this is Dre Knows, and we're signing out. Peace.